some wounds don't bleed. They live inside you, like rust on the soul, and when silence becomes unbearable, revenge becomes the only language left. Breath. This is not just a story. This is my confession. My name is Ethan Cole. Before we begin, subscribe to Whispers of Revenge and tell me in the comments. Which city are you listening from? Just drop your city name below. I was once the proud father of the bride. At her wedding, I stood in the corner, not as a guest, but as a waiter. My son-in-law pointed at me. He laughed and said to the crowd, "He's just a waiter." I smiled. I poured champagne. I swallowed my pride. Breath. But then someone shouted, "Wait, isn't he the guy from TV?" The room froze. My son-in-law dropped his glass. That moment was the beginning of the end. I didn't say a word. Not then. Not in front of my daughter. But inside me. Something cracked. Breath. I went home that night, opened my old laptop, and began digging. What I found was darker than I imagined. Emails, transactions, hidden accounts. My son-in-law wasn't just arrogant. He was corrupt. And my daughter? She was trapped in a marriage built on lies. I had stayed silent for too long, but silence is a coward's comfort. I wasn't going to be silent anymore. Breath. That night, I made a decision. I would expose him. Not with rage, but with precision. I wasn't just a father anymore. I was a hunter. Some wounds don't bleed. They whisper. And when you finally listen, they demand justice. Revenge doesn't begin with violence. It begins with observation. Breath. You watch, you wait, you listen to the lies until they start to repeat. I started with his phone records, late-night calls to unknown numbers. One name kept appearing. Darius. No last name, no address, just Darius. I asked my daughter. She hesitated, then whispered, "He's the one who handles the dirty work." Dirty work. I didn't ask more. I didn't need to. I had my first thread, and I pulled it. Darius ran a warehouse, outside the city, no signboard, no cameras, just a rusted gate, and silence. I waited outside for hours. Then I saw him, tall, scarred, eyes like a man who's buried too many secrets. He walked in, I followed, quietly, carefully, inside, stacks of boxes, no labels, no invoices, just crates, marked with red tape. I opened one. Inside, cash, bundles of it, wrapped in plastic, smelling of fear. I took pictures, every angle, every box. Then I left, without a sound. That night, I sent the photos to an old friend, a journalist. He replied with one word, explosive. But I wasn't ready to go public, not yet. I needed more. I needed to burn the whole empire, not just one warehouse. So I waited and watched and planned, because revenge isn't about anger. It's about patience and precision. Some men build empires, others build graves. My son-in-law built both, and tonight I was going to make him dig. I leaked the warehouse photos, anonymously, to 3 journalists. 2 ignored them, 1 published. Front page. Headline, Hidden Millions. The Shadow Empire Behind Coal Enterprises. The internet exploded. Shares dropped. Board members panicked. And my son-in-law, he called me. "Did you do this?" I paused, then whispered, "I served drinks at your wedding. Now I'm serving justice." He hung up, but I knew he wouldn't stay quiet. That night, someone followed me. Black car, no plates. I turned left. It turned left. I stopped. It stopped. I didn't panic. I recorded everything. License plate, face in the mirror. Darius. He was watching me, but I was watching him too. I sent the footage to my journalist friend. He replied, This isn't just corruption, it's organized crime. I knew what that meant. I wasn't just exposing a fraud, I was walking into a war. I warned my daughter, told her to leave. She cried. She said she still loved him. I said, "Love doesn't survive in a burning house." And she left that night, took nothing, just her dignity. And me? I stayed behind because the trap was set and the hunter was ready. Revenge doesn't knock, it breaks the door. And tonight, I kicked it open. The article went viral. News anchors screamed. Coal enterprises under investigation. Millions missing. Criminal ties suspected. My son-in-law tried to deny everything. He smiled on camera, wore his best suit, said, "This is all fake." But behind the scenes, his empire was bleeding. Banks froze accounts, partners pulled out, employees resigned, and Darius vanished. I knew where he'd go, to the safe house, the one only 3 people knew about. I was one of them. I got there first, waited in the dark, gun in hand, number just a recorder, and a question. When he arrived, I pressed play. His voice, his threats, his deals, all recorded. He froze, then laughed. "You think this ends me?" I leaned forward. "No, this buries you." I sent the tape to the authorities. Anonymous again. Within hours, warrants were issued. Darius was arrested. My son-in-law went into hiding. But the damage was done. His name was poison. His company, a ghost. And me? I stood outside the courthouse, watching the reporters chase shadows. I didn't smile. I didn't speak. I just breathed. Because revenge isn't loud. It's silent, precise, and permanent. Some stories end with justice, others with silence. Mine. It ends with a choice. My son-in-law was arrested, not for fraud, not for corruption, but for conspiracy. The tape, the photos, the documents, all led to one truth. He wasn't just greedy, he was dangerous. The trial began. I sat in the back row, no cameras, no interviews, just me, and the man who once laughed at me. He looked at me, eyes full of rage. I looked back, eyes full of nothing. The judge spoke. 20 years, no parole. People clapped, reporters cheered. But I didn't, because revenge isn't applause. It's peace, and peace is quiet. I walked out of the courtroom, alone. No daughter beside me, no family waiting. Just the sound of my own footsteps. I went home, opened the same laptop, deleted every file, every photo, every trace. I wasn't a hunter anymore. I was a man, trying to remember who he was before the war. My daughter called. She said, "Thank you." I said, "Don't thank me." She asked, "Then what should I do?" I whispered, "Live." Because revenge ends when healing begins, and healing is the only victory worth chasing.